Good morning, YouTube. 6:45 on July 2nd. Out in the shop having some coffee. It's about 71 degrees and it feels wonderful. Um, so what happened to Thriller? Um, we don't know. We were treating him as worms. He had worms when we first got him, and we treated him then. But he was given what we thought were signs that he was having, had worms or something. He had soft stool or diarrhea. He was getting lethargic and thin. And it was clearly a GI type issue. So we went about treating it that way. One thing we did not do, and in hindsight, I think we should have done, was give him some activated charcoal. Um, I didn't think the goat was poisoned. Um, it just didn't even cross my mind. I I thought for sure his worms were back, um, or he ate a nail, and he had an infection. I don't know, just something like that. I thought, but when we went back after we removed Thriller from the pen and buried him, we went back up there and just tried to assess and see if we saw anything that could help us come to a conclusion of what happened to him. Um, and we may have found the culprit, um, a plant known as horse nettle, or the devil's tomato, or the devil's potato, apple of Sodom. So there's some ominous names for it, and it's fatal, um, to both. Well, mostly fatal to animals. Humans would have to eat a great deal, I reckon. But we found that plant in several spots in his pen, in one spot just outside his pen that he was able to reach when he stuck his head through, um, of horse nettle, and he had been grazing on it. And we all of us saw him do it, and we had no idea that that plant was poisonous. We just all remember him sticking his head out through the corner and eating that group of plants that was there, which was the nettle, the horse nettle. And in hindsight, it checked off all the right boxes, including depression, which I know it sounds weird. How do you tell if an animal's depressed or not? But if you saw how he reacted to the girls when he first got here to how he was reacting to the girls these last few days, it was clear he was depressed. He had his head just down low if he wasn't eating. Um, he stopped smelling like a buck, which means he stopped doing all the things necessary to increase his chances to mate. He was not interested in mating. He was struggling. Um, yeah. It's I don't really know how to spin this one. I don't want to spin it. I all we can do is learn from it. We we learn that what that plant was yesterday. We learned how toxic it is to pretty much anyone and everything. Um, so it was a big, fortunate learning events in that regard. Um, but it sucks having to lose such a good animal. He really was a good animal. He was just chill. He made it if the girls let him mate. If not, he just went about his business. We would find him over in a area by himself, just grazing while the other ones were freaking out, trying to get out or trying to, they stand on their hay and eat, just all this weird stuff. Thriller was just a good, chill goat. Even when we put him in his pen that he ultimately would stay in, so he didn't breed anymore with the girls. He had a huge outdoor area, like 40 by 20, and then he had the equivalent of 3 stalls. It was all open, kind of like a little chevron or something, 3 stalls, and he would just kind of have his pick of any area and sit down. Um, but like I said, I'm thankful that we learned something. Even though we're not 100% sure, we're beginning to lean that way. He certainly could have had both. He could have had worms and then ate this plant. It was just too much for his GI, and he shut down. But because that's what it was like. It was like every time we come back to him, another part of him was shutting down. He couldn't stand, for example. You lift him up and he would just curl his legs up underneath him, and you go to set him down, and he would just kind of let you set him down through his legs, if that makes sense. Uh, Poor little bugger. But so do yourselves a favor, look up horse nettle or Carolina horse nettle, and take a look and see if it's in your yard. But so you can get rid of it. You definitely don't want your dogs getting involved or any of your farm animals getting involved with it. It'll prove to be fatal. So, but thanks for hearing me out, folks. And I appreciate the comments on Thriller. And we just hope you have a great day. Bye.